Well, I was pretty aggressive in our sponsorship campaign. I mean, we had a great festival. So, like when it comes to marketing your event, Mike the Headless Chicken Festival just kind of brings a national name, and we had national people interviewing nationally. And so, I went out to a lot of the sponsors around here and said, "Hey, look, we have people from all over the world to come into this festival."
This is festivalPass Stories, a podcast series is told by the people who create and make festivals come to life. You will go behind the stage, kitchen, or studio door to hear the stories of passion and inspiration that started some of the world's most beloved festivals. Hear the startup stories and how an idea went from what if to what's next. Hey friends, welcome back. This is the festivalPass Stories podcast, where we are presented once again by Dos Hombres, the artisanal mezcal meant to be shared, created by Aaron Paul and Brian Cranston. Have a drink with us at doshombres.com/delivery. And everyone have that opportunity to invest in a product early that could be the next Airbnb. I know that you're all saying, yes, we would. Tell us more. Learn why entrepreneurs and celebrities with exits approaching $10 billion have already invested in festivalPass. Go to invest.festivalpass.com to learn more. Friends, learning more about festivals is what we are all about, learning more about festivalPass. And here we are today with my guest, who is the director of and this is a very unique one for us, Mike the Headless Chicken Festival. It is not Mike himself because, well, he's a chicken and he has no head. And he did die eventually many, many years ago. Rest in peace to Mike, the world famous or infamous Headless Chicken. But here, full head and all, say hello to Tom Casal. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Tom, you're not only the director of this, but you are also the recreation superintendent for the city of Fruita. And I just rolled that F there because it just seemed like it can't just be the city of Fruita. It needs to be like Fruita. It just sounds like such a magical place in Colorado. And this is the town where the festival takes place each year. Now, and I know you've told this story 100 times, make it 101 and make this one your best ever. The name of this festival, it comes from a true story dating back to basically like the end of World War II or in 1945. What are the origins of Mike, the Headless Chicken, and how did this whole phenomenon of this Headless Chicken come about?
So back in September of 1945, a local farmer by the name of Lloyd Olsen, he, depending on the story that you want to listen to, but the real story is
which yarn do you want to hear?
They were actually preparing numerous chickens to take to the market the next day, and so they went through and they were lowering the amount of chickens that they had within their farm, and one of them just kept running, and Lloyd didn't think anything of it. So he just said, okay, well, I'll get it in the morning before we head out. And he showed up the next morning, and Mike was still out there, even without a head, kind of just plucking like a chicken. And Lloyd was like, that is crazy. So he, wanted to know what happened. And he actually took it to the University of Utah. We're about 4 hours from Salt Lake.
Okay.
And he took it over to University of Utah, and they said he remained alive because the brainstem was still intact.
We've all heard the term running around like a headless chicken, which I'm doing most mornings trying to leave the house. And I think we can all, remember the days when we feel like that. But this wasn't just a day, and this wasn't just bringing it to Utah, to the University of Utah. This chicken lived for 18 more months.
Yeah, so they found a way to keep it alive using a medicine dropper. So you use the medicine dropper to drop the food in, and then if the chicken was choking, they used the medicine dropper to actually suck out the what he was choking on. So they were able to keep it around for 18 months. And they traveled around the country on the sideshow circuit, making money. And they made, according to Troy, the grandson, they never really know exactly how much money they had, and if it wasn't
the IRS is not listening here, so don't worry.
it wasn't a lot of money. At least their quality of, they made a pretty good living off of it. But yeah, but it happened 18 months later. He wound up. They lost the medicine dropper, and Mike started to choke. And in a hotel somewhere in the Phoenix area, Mike met his demise.
Death by choking of the chicken, so to speak. Anyway, and no more stories on that. But then years later, this story comes kind of back around, and it's local to Fruita. And then this festival comes about. And what year did that happen? What year did you guys decide to start doing this?
So it was kind of crazy because the story's been out there for a while. Like there's Ripley's, believe it or not, museums have had it, but locally, not a lot of people knew about Fruita's unique history. And as Fruita started growing, a part of the Colorado Historical Preservation Week, which is usually the third week in May here in Colorado, they wanted to do something to let the citizens of Fruita know about their unique history. So in 1999 was the first Mike the Headless Chicken Day.
So an official day, like key to the city and the whole thing.
Yep,
for the family.
They had entertainment, they had a car show, there's a bunch of different things, and it was more about letting the people of Fruita, it was supposed to be just a local, hey Fruita, this is what we got, you need to know about our history. And it quickly blew up from local to state to national to international story.
These days, do people show up in costume? I mean, a headless chicken costume would be a little tough to see out of, but with the name itself, that's when that came about. Was anyone like, well, maybe this isn't the right name for the city of Fruita. Maybe it should be the City of Fruita Festival, and then this is a part of the festival.
Heck no, not around here in Fruita. We quickly embraced it. I wasn't here back then when they started, so I've only been here for about 8 years, and we've been doing the festival since 1999. But no, Fruita embraced it, and we celebrate Mike's will to live every year.
Yes, here the resilience. Yes, American resilience. Mike's resilience is America. And hey, New York marketing guy, keep your ideas to yourself. This is Fruita. This isn't New York City. Okay, right. We are Mike the Headless Chicken. We embody it. Yep. Quite literally embody it, not head it, but embody it. Yeah. It's incredible. Now, I would imagine over the years, we've already gone through like 20 chicken puns, I feel like here, but do you personally have a chicken pun that you've created yourself, or is there a go-to every year when you're on the mic and you're welcoming people to the festival?
We just kind of let it go. I don't don't try to usually bring any of that kind of stuff there. The festival speaks for itself. So it is a 2-day festival. So let's get into it. You pack a ton of stuff into these 2 days. And I saw that. Yeah. And I saw that I was like, I heard about this and I was like, this is interesting. Start digging into it. And I'm seeing you have some real musical talent. This isn't like local guy with a guitar or banjo coming out there. You had the samples playing. And, as a guy who went to college in the 90s, I had the samples on something called compact disc, people. Yes, festival people. There was something called compact disc. You'll have to go to that Ripley's Museum that we talked about before to believe that music used to be delivered on a large round disc that looked like a appetizer plate. And people would carry something around even bigger that would skip like crazy. And that was how you would listen to your music. And you only had one option. But I had the samples CD, Feel Us Shaking. That was one of their biggest hits. Or, because you've been with the organization and with the festival for now about 7 years. Was this music, was it at this level before you got there, or was this your doing? Well, I was pretty aggressive in our sponsorship campaign. I mean, we had a great festival. So like when it comes to, marketing your event, Mike the Headless Chicken Festival just kind of brings a national name. And we had national people interviewing nationally. And so I went out to a lot of the sponsors around here and said, hey, look, we have people from all over the world to come into this festival. And I could really do some really cool things if I could up our sponsorship. So was able to create additional sponsorships. So like the first year I was really nervous because the amount, not the amount that we spent, but we got Cracker in here. And they just went all out that first year that I was the event director, and it was awesome. So we followed up that year with having the Smithereens.
Yes.
We've had
hey, I'm a Jersey guy. I was born in Jersey. Smithereens.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, lead singer. But man, I love the Smithereens.
So we had North Mississippi All-Stars. We've had Reckless Kelly, Sun Volt, and this year the Samples and the Freddie Jones Band. And I have to give some credit, though. We have a local promoter who has really dialed us in to get us a lot of these national acts. So without James Williams and as our music promoter, he's really gotten a lot of bands here. And James, you should listen to him. He's on the Williams Brothers band, and he's a local favorite, but he's a pretty talented musician himself, and he's played for our festival for a couple of years as well. So.
J Dubs, we give a shout out to J Dubs. We love him. Unbelievable. Yeah. So, and the samples were there, and what kind of media are you getting when you get these kind of bands? There's got to be some serious press showing up at this thing.
We haven't really hit that stage just quite yet. We do have, and I'm not really into the whole recording thing, but we've been the last couple of years had some recording folks coming out, and they do something with putting it in the National Archives, and so that's happened the past couple of years. So it's really kind of growing. But as far as mostly it's local media at this point, I do radio interviews and stuff like this nationally throughout the year, trying to get everybody to the festival to check it out. I haven't gotten that done yet, but I'm working on it.
We'll get there. Hey, Good Morning America, just letting you know that there is a stage for you. Michael Strahan, you're welcome to come out. Michael Strahan ran around like a chicken with his head off after quarterbacks. So he could, the questions are already built in right there. He's ready to go. Let's just continue to go through this stuff, the samples, the live music, big bands coming there. This is becoming a destination because of J Dubs and you. Come on, give yourself a little credit there for that. But tell me about the High Desert Feathers Fancier Poultry Show.
Fancier. Yeah. Well, it was probably my first year when I moved to Fruita. Before I was the event director, we met with them, and I didn't know a whole lot about chickens, to be honest with you. And they're like, you know how many different kinds of chickens there are? And I'm like, 2, male and female. And
your chicken knowledge, you had to ramp up a little bit.
I'm much better now, but there's over 160 types of chickens.
I would have guessed 158. I was way off.
Yeah, about 160 plus or minus. But so we started hosting the poultry show, and they actually bring in an accredited judge who comes in and scores all these incredible chickens, and some of these chickens are worth thousands of dollars. It's not one of those it's not those run-of-the-mill chickens you put in the backyard and lay eggs for you.
No, these are not your normal coop feathers, fellas. What makes a chicken that valuable?
That I can't say. It just it has a certain look, I guess. I don't know. It's just they're pretty impressive looking birds, though. I can tell you that. We do have them on our website.
And when you say accredited judge, what is that? Is like a National Poultry Foundation judge, or where do these judges come from?
That's a great question. The poultry show folks, they're the ones who put the show on, and so they're the ones who get the judge, and they know what the rules and regs are. So
amazing. And you said in year one that there is the car show, and the car show is still going strong. That was part of this year's. Was there something unique about this year, or is it always sort of like the same tradition in honor of the first festival?
Well, this show has gained a national or a regional reputation. So we get, being halfway between Denver and Salt Lake, we get all kinds of cars from all over. We had over 170 cars this year. A story about this is the Wheels West Car Club puts on the car show. About 3 years ago, the car club that I had running the show called me up a month and a half before the show and said, I'm out. We can't do it. I'm like, the car show is not dying on my watch. Yeah. So I was randomly able to find the Wheels West Car Show, and And the first year we just did a show and shine where you just show cars, no trophies or anything like that. And this year, man, they really packed the house. They had over 170 cars, and they're looking at bringing in over 200 cars next year. But yeah, they have car clubs from Salt Lake, from Moab, from Aspen, Montrose, Denver, all over the place. So yeah, it's a big draw. It's one of those car shows that that's gained a reputation over the years, and people want to participate.
And these are all classic cars. These are cars that are driven, they're only really driven in parades and to these kind of festivals. And they're probably arriving.
They show up to Fruita in a trailer. And then
I was going to say, they're probably arriving in a trailer, right? Because they can only drive a certain amount of miles a year. Yeah,
even ones coming from Grand Junction, which is just about 10 miles away. They drive them over in a trailer. So yeah, there's some really, really nice cars.
And with this new sponsorship that you're bringing in, these the new sponsorship dollars, any kind of cash prize for this, or is it more like just a pride thing? Like we were number one in show for muscle car division.
Well, there's a lot of bragging rights of having the best in show for this. So they do have a cash prize. That's one of our local restaurants. Munchies provides the cash prizes for the car show. And if you ever drive through Fruita, we're right on I-70. Make sure you go to Munchies because that place is just phenomenal. My shameless plug for Munchies because it's my favorite place to eat.
All right, Munchies is the joint, folks. Check them out. Munchies, we'll probably see it now, and we'll get them again. They're a sponsor. It's no shameless plug when these are sponsors of the festival. So, and does Munchies serve a chicken dish, or is it like almost sacrilegious to have a chicken dish there?
They don't have a Mike the Headless special, but they do serve chicken.
Okay. Yeah, it's out of respect. Indeed. Yeah. So speaking, I mentioned you mentioned I-70 there, and people come from all over the place. But you guys from major cities in Colorado, what are you, about 250 miles from Denver?
Yeah. Yep. And so it's about 4-hour drive because there's some pretty big mountain passes to get over.
Yeah.
But
I've done the drive from Vail, from actually the Vail Film Festival. Speaking of plugging other festivals here as shameless plugs, but from the Vail Film Festival back to Denver, and I remember I was going through, what is it? The pass. It's like
there's Vail Pass, and then there's Eisenhower Tunnel.
Yeah, I think it was Vail Pass, and it's kind of rainy and muddy, and had this rented SUV, and I was flying, so I was trying to make my flight. I'm like, oh man, I can't miss this flight. And the back window was just covered in mud. So I hit the back windshield wiper on the SUV, and right on my tail, when that clears off, is a state trooper. And I'm like, no! So needless to say, got pulled over. He didn't appreciate the out-of-state license or the fact that I was running late for a flight. So I was no longer running late for that flight. I was running very early for the next flight. Yeah.
Vail's kind of the halfway point between here and Denver for us.
Okay. Is Fruita on a lower elevation, or are you guys a mile high as well?
We're not exactly a mile high. We're considered high desert as far as kind of precipitation for the year, but we're not a mile high, that's for sure. I don't know. It's not one of those things I looked at when I moved here. Is what is our elevation? So, but
you got used to it quick. Munchies. Yeah. Once you saw Munchies, you're like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Once I had my hamburger there, yeah, I was done. So.
Well, I have another opportunity for Munchies to sponsor because you guys have a pancake breakfast on the Saturday morning. Now, I noticed in the order of events, it's a pancake breakfast and then a 5K. Shouldn't it be the other way around? It's a little hard to run. It's really hard to do anything with pancakes. After pancakes, you're like, should be pancakes, then a 5K nap or a 5-hour nap.
It's a total different clientele. We're trying to get everybody involved. So, and actually the pancake breakfast is right near the car show entry. So it's all the people that bring their cars in and they go and eat the pancakes. And then the people go do the run and then they go eat the pancakes after the car show people are all put together. So it's well thought out.
Yeah. So folks, if you love running a 5K, this is another opportunity for you to put Colorado on your map, and being in that altitude, that's a whole different 5K as well. So and then afterwards, you're really going to enjoy those pancakes if there's any left. So run fast and then run to your pancakes and then enjoy the pancakes and then the car show.
Right.
And
That's right.
And if you haven't had enough pancakes, there's also something that I saw called the Wing and Peep Eating Contest. Now, I think I know what you mean by Peeps. Are these the marshmallow Peeps?
Yep.
Okay. So there's competitive eating here in New York. Of course, we've got the best competitive eating in the world. We like to say we have the best of everything, but we, of course, have the Coney Island Nathan's hot dog eating contest, which is fascinating and disgusting all at the same time. The Peep eating contest sounds a lot more civilized to me. Tell me a little bit more about this one.
Well, we originally did the geared towards the kids, and so the Peep eating contest for the kids. And probably shouldn't say this out loud, but we haven't really approached Peeps about having them sponsor. We just go to the local Walmart in Grand Junction. We go to the local Walmart in Grand Junction after Easter and buy them all for 50% off.
Oh, so we just slightly stale. They're slightly stale.
We just store them in a closet for 2 months until the festival happens. But then we geared it towards kids. But like 2 years ago, the adults are like, we want to be a part of this. So 2 years ago was our first adult division of the Peep eating contest. And it was popular again this year, and it's just I can't watch. I'm gonna go somewhere else during this event. So
Peeps usually come in there's like a single sleeve, and there's the big ones. Usually come in about 4 or 6. What is the record for the most Peeps eaten?
Well, we've just done it we have the Peeps. We haven't done a whole record, so they have to eat 2 trays, and whoever eats it the fastest wins. They have to eat 2 trays of Peeps.
Yeah. And the kids,
you go into more trays than that, then you need a lot of trash cans.
Yeah, and then the kids are running around like chickens with their heads off for the rest of the day because they're like, hey, sugar. So it's all after.
And then their mouth is all covered in whatever color Peep they ate. So
yeah, it's all healthy. And then the other side of it is the wing eating contest. I would imagine those are chicken wings.
Yep.
We do buffalo style.
Yep, buffalo style. I challenged my staff. I have a new person in charge of the wing eating contest to see what it's going to take to get it sanctioned. I'd like to get that event sanctioned, the wing eating contest.
Yes,
it's a pretty popular one, but getting it sanctioned, maybe we can get some more people. That's our next goal.
No, people travel around to these competitive eating contests, and there's real cash, and then you can come up with get Frank's Red Hot or somebody like that as a sponsor.
Right.
But seriously, people they travel around the country and the world. These guys like Kobayashi, or who's the other guy? Joey Chestnut or 2. I mean, the fact that I know 2 competitive eaters, and I could probably think of a third if you give me 5 minutes, but it's it's no joke. It's no joke. So there's sponsorship dollars out there, and you can make that happen.
That's our next goal. That's our next goal for the festival is get that sanctioned. So,
yeah. And for the athletes out there, after you do the 5K, there's also a disc golf tournament. I mean, we're talking Frisbee golf here. Is that just, it's a fancier way of saying Frisbee golf.
Yeah. So, it's a pretty popular event.
Yeah. I was going to say, if I'm traveling out there with my friends and we want to put a team together, what kind of prizes can we win?
So we just do cash prizes for that. That most people use in the mic store to buy mic gear, but so
or they go over to Munchies afterwards.
They go to Munchies, or they go to they just go to the beer tents. So because they play Saturday morning and we announce the winners at around 2:00, and that's when the beer really starts to get consumed. So
yeah, you can't play. I believe it is a 2-drink minimum to play disc golf. You have to at least have 2, and you've got some great beer in Colorado. You bring out some? There's some serious craft beers out there. I mean, of course, we've got Coors Light, and we've got the yellow Coors in the yellow can, the local guys. But there's a serious craft beer following. People would come just for that. So, what do these beer tents look like?
So we stay true to the Fruita roots, and we use our two local. We have two amazing breweries in Fruita.
Okay.
So we have the Copper Club. They have a lot of cool brews, and then Suds Brothers Brewery. So we use those guys exclusively for the beer. So
I love that you're keeping it local with the beer as well. So what kind of, what range of beers do these guys have? Is it just Pilsner, or are we across the board here?
So between both breweries, we're across the board. So Suds Brothers has my favorite. It's called the SOB. It's kind of like a Corona.
The SOB, is that named after you?
No, I don't think so. But then also
Not after you're giving them all these nice plugs. No way.
Absolutely. So between the Suds Brothers and Copper Club's got a really good range, and then they have a lot of seasonals too. So they're always keeping it fresh. So we actually had some new beers this year, being that we were almost in the late summer versus the late spring, early summer. So,
yeah.
But between the two, there's a lot of different flavors, and we actually get access to a lot of different flavors as well. So, and they may run out of a certain type of beer, and then they'll switch it with something completely different. So you have all kinds of different options to choose from.
Nice. Anything exclusive to Mike the Headless Chicken Festival? Any beer
No,
exclusive?
We haven't gotten there yet. So we haven't gotten there. It's trademarked, and they may not want to have to share the proceeds. So
we're on our way. But you the larger you get, I mean, you said before that you're not just local or even statewide. This is a national and now international phenomenon and festival, and you've got all the elements for it. So well done. You've got great bands, got great beer, great food, right? And we got Munchies next door for those people that just want to go and just come from Munchies, because now everyone's going to be excited about that. But have you been able to quantify the economic effect on the city of Fruita and just in the area in general?
So we haven't really quantified the exact economic impact. Being in the valley, it's the Grand Valley of Western Slope. We have Palisade, which does their peaches and has their own festivals, in the city of Grand Junction. And so being so close, they all kind of intermix. So one thing that makes our festival a lot easier to get to is being the weekend after Labor Day, we actually run in conjunction with the JUCO World Series, the Junior College World Series, which run out of Grand Junction. And as the teams lose and leave, they open up all those hotel rooms so people can slide in late to get the hotel rooms to come and stay at the festival. So that's one of the unique things about the festival. But as far as economic impact specifically related to Mike, outside of the sales and use tax that we see on a regular basis, it's one of the busiest weekends. There's two other festivals that we have in Fruita that are run by outside agencies. There's Fall Festival, brings in a lot of people with Chamber, and then there's the Fat Tire Festival, which is a mountain biking festival in early April. That's put on by a local bike shop. So because we're known for mountain biking here in Fruita. So
yeah, I have mountain biked in Vail. That's as close. If I could have done 254 miles, I would have come to Fruita. But I did do some mountain biking in Vail around Labor Day too. So interesting.
It is worth your while to come out here. Some of our trails have been rated the top 10 in the world. So there's some really good mountain biking trails here in Fruita that I'm not much of a mountain biker, but that definitely has an economic impact as well. So
you can come for the mountain biking, stay for Mike the Headless Chicken Festival, and that's there you go. There's your summer vacation next year. That's how you wrap up.
There you go right there. Yep, there you go right there. So.
And you mentioned there's two other festivals in town, but they're run by outside people. As recreation director of events for the city, what other kind of events are you producing?
So our department, we do permit all outside special events, but then just in general, we do a lot more community events. So we do a truck and treat over Halloween, where we get tons of kids, and the truckers come with their trucks, they set them up, they decorate their trucks and hand out candy, and kids just go around and trick or treat there to the trucks.
And the kids are like, no more Peeps, please, no more Peeps.
Yeah. So that one is one of our main popular events, but then just community events, like we do Easter egg scrambles. We do a holiday arts and crafts fair. an Arbor Day celebration, which is really contained to the local schools. So those are the big ones. Then we also do the 3rd of July fireworks. So we do our fireworks on the 3rd of July. The city of Grand Junction does theirs on the 4th of July. We think ours is better because you can watch fireworks on the 3rd of July, and not many people have to work on the 4th of July. But you could have to work on the 5th.
Right. You want to party. You want to have a good time.
Yep. So
you want to throw back a couple SOBs and enjoy yourself.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
So I know the festival just happened, but for 2022 and beyond, how much are tickets? How can I get tickets? And is there any kind of VIP experience with that ticket?
We are 100% free. We do not do tickets. Everything is included in my sponsors. I told you they kick butt. And we're more about bringing people down into Fruita and spending their dollars at the local restaurants. And so we do not charge. So we bring all of this entertainment to everybody for free. So
all the music.
It's always the weekend after Memorial Day weekend.
Weekend after Memorial Day weekend, outside of this year because of situations out of our control, it was moved. But usually get your Memorial Day weekend in at your beach town and then get to Fruita. We're going to call it Free Fruita because this is incredible. So I can drink all the SOBs I want until I turn into an SOB, is what you're saying.
Well, you might get kicked out after that, but yeah, you can drink all the SOBs.
You will put me in a chicken wing, so to speak, and escort me out of there. Okay.
But no, come on down. Our Mike store is one of the most popular venues because everybody wants their Mike gear. So we have everything from Mike Headless Chicken t-shirts. Who doesn't want a Mike Headless Chicken t-shirt? We have Mike Headless Chicken cutting boards, pint glasses, stickers, books, you name it. We got it. Hats.
Does the t-shirt have a hole for the head, or do you just have to sort of wear it right on top there?
I think that's a great marketing thing that we're going to do next year. I might have to credit you on that one. We might do some headless t-shirts. Because right now they all have,
Yeah, now because they're normal t-shirts, so people will buy them so that we can continue to make some money so that we can provide this festival for the city and those traveling in for free. So, Tom, how do we find out more about the festival? Are we on the Instagram website? What's the best way to find out more?
Well, you can find us on Facebook. We have a Mike Headless Chicken Facebook page. And we like to keep that up to date. But then also we have our MikeHeadlessChicken.org website that you'll be able to check out.
But I did see that on the Facebook on your Facebook page, there's lots of just great dad humor on there and corny stuff. So
we do have a third-party marketing company who does some of that stuff. So
and family friendly, as you said, all the way around.
Yep.
Tom, thank you so much for this. And I think we've answered the question finally of why the chicken crossed the road. It was to get to this festival. Tom Casal, thank you very much for this. We will see you in Fruita, Colorado, weekend after Memorial Day next year and beyond.
3rd and 4th, 2022.
Yes, sir. And we will see everybody next time on Festival Pass Stories. Tom Casal, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
This is Festival Pass Stories, a podcast series is told by the people who create and make festivals come to life. You will go behind the stage, kitchen, or studio door to hear the stories of passion and inspiration that started some of the world's most beloved festivals. Hear the startup stories and how an idea went from what if to what's next.